Okay, so now we are back. We are back on the Cintiq here, so I have a little bit more control over my stroke. Um, Now, what I noticed as I was sort of scrolling through Substance here is that it has its own Stitch Alpha, which is very similar to the one we were using before. It's a single stitch; it's not a double stitch. But if I use that, you can see that you can get the same effect just with a single stitch. And the nice thing about this one is that if we come down to right here, it's a stitch generator, they call it. It's just part of the alphas. What I do? There it is. Uh, so stitch type, you have the line, which is what I just used. We have a cross, so if you want sort of stitches like that, those are available. And each one of these has its own sort of layout here. So we can do zigzag. Not really sure about these right here. I guess if you had the stitching closer, those would probably be better that way. Um, so wrong one here. Parameters. So if we go back to line, and so let's increase our count here. There we go. Now you can have your double stitching. So kind of didn't need to go through that process that I went through earlier of going into Photoshop and duplicating it over. I mean, you can have, that's actually kind of cool. Wish I had known about that, right? You can have triple stitching there if you like. So that's pretty cool. And then they have their own spacing. So let's go to 2 here. So you can increase or decrease the space between them. You want them real tight. Then you can scale them in the Y. So the length of the stitch. So if you want it real short, you can do that. If you want it real long, you can do that. Oh, I don't think you can go above the max number there. Oh, maybe you can. So let's go to 4. Okay, that doesn't look like 4, but anyway, you can play with that and see what you can come up with. And then scale X is the thickness that way. So a lot more options here. Let's get them back down a little bit. So that's kind of nice. It's kind of nice there. The only thing that I might just keep going with my stitches here is that we have the stitching, so not the stitching, but the bumps outside of there. So if I select mine and use that, I get that little bumping, just makes it feel like that surface is reacting to the stitch. So I think I'm going to stick with this, but by all means use that one. It's there, it's ready to go. So less work for you to do. So let's get ourselves back to the size that we want. Those are too far apart, so I'm going to drop my spacing over here. That's pretty good, I think. And just as far as the size of the brush, let's see. That might be too big, so let's shrink it down. Yeah, something like that. And I'd probably drop my spacing down a little bit more like that. I think I like that. I think that'll work. Let me bring up a browser just to, oops, let's get this over here. Apparently I have no internet. Interesting. Let me go. Oh yeah, apparently I have no internet. Okay, so I guess I'm not looking up those images right now. But it doesn't really matter when it comes down to it. All right, so let's go in here. Let's undo, get rid of that. So, like I said before, I'm going to try to do it in here. And by the way, navigation in here, and I keep messing it up. Navigation is just like Maya. Alt, left mouse will rotate, and you can hold down Shift to snap it. Middle mouse is pan, and right mouse is zoom. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to do this in passes. I don't think I have the skill to just go all the way around in one shot. So I'm gonna drop my distance on my lazy mouse here. Yeah, let's see what we can do here. So let's try one. Okay. A little off right in here. I might leave that for a minute. Let's go this way. Okay, so that lazy mouse really helps. And let's go. Oh, went too far that way. Okay. This is harder than it looks for me anyway. I don't know what it's going to be like for you, but... So I'm going to start up here. And I kind of like that it's not perfect to the edges. That just gives it a hand-stitched quality, which in some ways it is because I'm doing this by hand. So I'm not mad at that. No, that's not. Let's redo this one. Went too far. Not far enough. Wow, this is hard. Okay, I'll get back to that one. Let's try continue from here. Oh, I was going so well till right about there. Let's see if I can just erase that. Will it let me erase? No, it won't let me do that. Okay. Well, what if I went this way? Too high. Ah, that's killing me because that was otherwise perfect. Yeah, I'll go with that. It's good enough. Yeah, like I said, it gives it the hand-stitched quality, like it was actually done by a person, not by a machine. So it's gotta be imperfect, and I kinda like that. So let's go this way. Oh yeah, that was almost perfect. So the way I'm using the lazy mouse, I'm looking at the edge of my circle here for the stroke, which is behind where my actual cursor is, and that allows me to adjust as I go, looking at the edge of the circle. So let's go this way. Okay. See, I lost it behind my hand there, so because my hand is in the way, it's kind of hard to turn the corner like that. So I think I'll do this one and stop there, and then continue there. So something tells me I would not work in the shoe industry, but hey, it's all good. There we go. Let's do this one. Man, I had it. Okay, I need to stop trying to turn these corners in one stroke. Let's try again. So go to about here. Horrible. Horrible. No, it's going to be overlapping stitches. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, let's go this way. Almost. Okay, some of you 2D guys are probably laughing at me. That's all right. That's okay. All right, let's do here. There we go. All right, so not perfect, but it's kind of cool that it's not perfect. Okay, this is the one that was giving me trouble before. There we go. And I don't know how much I like that, but let's go with it. Okay. I may have to turn this, so that's a nice thing that you can do is turn it. There we go. I really need a stitch in there. Now it's going to be hard to get. There. That worked. Okay. So, I'm going to hit F4 to see what this is looking like. Yeah, that looks pretty not so great there. But the other stuff, not perfect, but I'm not hating it too much. So that's a disadvantage of doing it in the UV editor. You can't see the final result very well, but you know what, I think I'm okay with it. I think it's just sloppily done. Maybe not a high quality boot. You know, we'll go with it. So this one here, I'm going to hit F1 just so, where is that? Right in here. Okay, so there. So what I'm going to do, rather than just try to redraw those whole strokes, what I'm going to do is come up to my alpha, just hit the minus there, and then I hit X to invert it. That's not where that is. So right, hello, why isn't that working? Okay, that one. So I can just erase parts of the mask, and then put my, and I hope it saved all my settings, which I gotta hit X again, and oops. Nope. You know, what I might do is just drop my lazy mouse. Let's try 1.75 or so. So I have a smaller circle there. Yeah, that's looking crazy. See if I can do it over here. There you go. The lazy mouse works differently in the UV. See how big the circle is here? Here it's really small, you can't even see it. So maybe it's easier to do it there. We'll see. Alright, so I'm going to hit X, and let's try to paint out some of this stuff right here. And then put my alpha back, hit X again, and go like that. Let's try it again. Okay, you got to be quick with the undo button. There we go. I'll go with that. Alright, so actually kind of liking what we're doing here. Despite the not so perfect stitching, I think it's actually working pretty well. So let's look at this piece right here. Gonna hit F2 just to enlarge this. Because I am on the Cintiq, like I said before, I'm now running at 1080 instead of 1440. So if the image is a little less crisp, it's because that 1080 image is being up-res to 1440 so that the whole video is at 1440. So I apologize for that, but not really too much I can do about it. Stitch here. And let's boost our lazy mouse a little bit here. There we go. There. If you go fast, sometimes it really helps with the lazy mouse. I'm going too high there. It's going to help keep those Stroke's pretty smooth. The faster you go, and the lazy mouse really helps. So I'm really liking what this is looking like here with the stitching. I think that looks pretty good. So now this guy here, and because I still have no internet, I can't. I should have saved those images. I did not. Rookie mistake, but what are you going to do? And, you know, it doesn't need to be super perfect anyway. Oh, you know what I could do is see if I can get it on my phone here. So you guys aren't going to be able to see that, but that's all right. I just need to see it. Oh, I totally forgot the name of this boot. Oh, great. I know how to find it. One sec. All right. Okay, so yeah, the stitching is pretty close again. I don't need to be perfect. So I'll just go with it. I'll just go with it as is. And if I need to change it later, I can always do that. But I think I'm good. All right. Continuing on. Let's start here. Oh. Let's try this one again. It's close. Not quite. Well, let's look here and see if it'll be easier to just do it. So let's see, where's that part? There you go. Oh, that is the... There we are. Okay. So as you can see, my lazy mouse again is just way too big here. Oh, and then yeah, so Substance does this autosave thing, which, you know, is good, I guess. The only issue is that it likes to autosave a lot, and when it does that, it will make really big files. So Substance files tend to get pretty big, and since I'm using a 6-tile UDIM for this boot, the file is likely to be very big. So let me see if I can show you. Yeah, here we go. So if you look at the boot's Substance file, the SPP file, that's a 3.5 gigabyte file. And here's the autosave. It's another 3.5 gigabyte file. The problem with this, of course, is that it's going to save. If I let it keep autosaving, it's going to add a second one. So you'll have, so just between these two files here, I got 7 gigs. And then it's going to add another 3.5 gigs. So you have almost 11 gigs of files there, um, just for these boots. So what I like to do is make sure that I actually save. And then while it's saving, I can get rid of the autosave file just by deleting it to save myself the space. So you got to be real careful, because I tend to walk away from my computer quite a bit to go get a snack or whatever, drink. And if you go for a while without saving, it's going to autosave for you. Especially if you, I don't know if it does it as much if you have previously saved. Like if you save and then walk away and nothing new is happening to the file, I don't know if it'll autosave or not. I don't think it will. But if you haven't saved, it's definitely going to autosave. So just keep that in mind, because you can start to get really big files. All right, let's see how this looks here. See, I'm not liking that right there. So some of these things you can't really see in the UV mode. Okay, a little wavy there, but actually that works. So let's keep going. Punch this up just a hair. And as tedious as this is, remember we still got another boot to do. Yay. All right. So what you might notice sometimes is these stitches don't quite follow the stroke the way that you want. I think I have a little bit of it there, but it's not horrible. It could be just the angle of the camera. So again, just get rid of my alpha here for a second. Hit X. And let's get rid of some of these stitches here. Drag my alpha back. So let's go. Oh, you got it. Hit X to get it back. Okay. Should have left that. There we go. Whatever. So this I'm not liking here, so again, hit X. And I'm just going to get rid of this. Hit X again. Drag my alpha back. You know, there might be an easier way to remove the alpha temporarily than just that, but that's what works for me right now until I figure out a better way. There we go. Something like that. I don't know. Maybe that. There we go. So doing it on the UVs it's useful, but it obviously has its issues that you don't see things quite as clearly as far as the geometry. So just do it the best you can. Okay. Okay, I like that. I just don't like how it ended. So X to flip our alpha. Okay. And then hit X again. So right at the end there, things went a little crazy. Okay. So you don't necessarily have to get rid of an entire stroke. X. Okay. And then up here. And then let's just close this one out. Okay. Not too shabby. I don't know if I'm going to put stitches on this guy here. Kind of like this being sort of a hard protective shell that is maybe stitched from the underside somehow and then glued. I don't know. I kind of like the contrast between that, so I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave that and see. All right, now these sections here, I don't know if I want stitches going around like this, but I do know that I want stitches going across this way. So let's start with those and then see how it looks. Okay, start here. So they would, oh, let's see. They would sort of go and stop there. Technically they'd go all the way through, but let me see what the UV editor is doing here. Where's that part? So it would be here. So let's try. Oh, this is a little confusing with this pen, but no biggie. Let's zoom in here. Okay, let's try just. Wow. So if I just drew it in one continuous stroke, as if it's going underneath that panel, so that I don't have that weird. You could tell that when I did it in here, it sort of stopped this. I'm trying to get that feel like it's going. I don't think I need to do one across here. I'm trying to go for the effect that this panel here was stitched over the top of this one, so it's just holding that all down. So you kind of have to think about how the shoe's constructed. Okay, so I do like how that looks. Let's try this upper section here, wherever that is. So that'd be probably one of these here. So if we some weird stitches there, let's try this again. Got some weird turning of stitches there, but like I say, some of these imperfections are actually kind of interesting to me. Yeah, I'll leave that in there. Call it good. Oh, and I have a gap here, so yeah, it's kind of dicey, but again, I want to feel like that stitch is going underneath. Now, like I said, I don't think I want this, but let's see what that looks like. Do I like that? Do I like that? You know what I kind of do. Let's see. Yeah, those stitches there are a little crazy. But you know what? I'm kind of liking that. So I just need to erase a little bit right in here. Oh, you know what? I shouldn't. Oh no. I totally changed my brush size. Now my stitches, I didn't note what the brush size was. So, okay. So let's X, put our alpha back, and go back to our, I'm just going to size my stitch so it looks close in size. So I'm at a size 2 there. So I think that's probably what it was, a size 2. That looks about right. So now I know So take note of that. And then the next question is, do I want stitching going across here? Maybe not. At least not right now. Let's go look at a different part. Let's just do this part here. It's on the other side of the boot, right there. So I'm going to just do both. I'm going to leave both views open so that I can just do them both. Just kind of see both. All right, so this guy, I'm going to start off the panel. And of course I should have had, but it looks like it went through okay. Even though I didn't see it all the way. Okay, so now okay, not perfect, but it'll do. I do really like this ability to just go back and forth between 3D and UV view. You know, start in UV view, then go into 3D view and back and forth. That's really nice. All right. So this guy here, again, I'm going to start off the panel here and okay, where's that guy? No, there it is right there. So I should have kept going. There we go. You want it to feel like it's going under. This one. That's nice right there. Okay, and then, because now I seem to like this, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. And it's not liking something about this geometry here. So, I don't know. Now I'm rethinking myself again, but let's see. Let's just do this part and see what we get. Yeah, this is tough. I think my UVs are just not detailed enough here. See how this looks? Yeah, you can see the UVs are just not very nice right in here. But that's actually not too shabby. Now here's where he's going to have a bit of an issue here. So what I'm going to do is just do it. There we go. I think that'll work better. Yeah, okay. I think I can work with that. Yeah, I think it does add detail. So I'm going to change my mind on that and actually do it. Let's try doing this here. Okay, that one went pretty well, I guess. Not great, but okay, so just looking around here. Still got this section up here to do, which is, where are you? Right there. There we go. Wow, those stitches are crazy. Okay, now I got a stitch that went over. That's the problem here is, now question is, do I just say screw it and leave it, or do I try to fix it? You know what? I don't know if it's worth it, because again, I don't want to resize my brush. So you got to decide if it's worth it for you, and if it is, by all means, go ahead and fix it up. Okay, so we need this section here, which is this right here. So we need to do that guy. Let's see. Zoom in on it a little bit. I like the UV editor because I can go past it to make it look like the stitches are going underneath. Whereas I can't do that with the 3D view because it'll just draw on top of the next panel. So this is really nice to be able to do. Okay, so I'm getting a little bit more confident with my strokes now than I was at the beginning. But still kind of tough to get right. Now, do I want stitching here? Maybe. There's something to be said for letting it look like this panel is being stitched down by this stitch here so that I don't need that stitch there. So let's go with that. You know, I might want to think about doing some of that here as well. I kind of like the way that looks. So let's... Now what I got to be careful of here is, of course, so find out where that is. Let's erase. Okay, that's not what I want, but it's right there. So I'm going to do it from here. Hit X. And unfortunately my lazy mouse, actually I could just turn it off and delete there. Delete there. Put this back, put on my lazy mouse, drop it way down. Oh, hit X. Maybe. There we go. Yeah, I think I like that better. I think I like that better. So even here as well. So, you know, these are all things you just sort of figure out as you go. Let's see, X. Lazy mouse off. Okay. Put that back. X. There we go. Yeah, I like that better. So. Let's try that same thing here. So it's just going to give the shoe that layered panel look. Oh, what's going on here? I don't think I like that at all. So get rid of, maybe let's get rid of this far back. This far back. And X. That's better. Not great, but better. Alright, now what did I say here? This guy right here, which I think is this one. And let's hit X, and we're just gonna get rid of that. So as you can see, I do change my mind a lot. And that's part of the process. If you're doing this for yourself, it's not for the studio or whatever. You know, you get to do that. You get to change your mind and do what you like to do. Okay, get rid there. X. Here we go. So it looks like I got a few of these to do. This one here, you know, I should just go around and erase all the parts I want to. Oh, X. There we go. Erase that one. So the Cintiq really does help with this. Having the screen that you can draw on directly really helps. So which one is this? This is this side. Yep, let's get rid of that. Okay, so for now let's go with that. Hit this, hit X. Zoom in a little bit. Did I want to do that here? So this is over here, so that's that. Yeah, you know what? I think I can leave that one. Or did I erase it on the other side? Yeah. Yeah, I might want to bring that one back just because this is the topmost panel here. So if I want it to be stitched down, I'm just going to stitch it there. So a lot of your design decisions that you make here are going to be dictated by whatever it is that you are making and how you want to think about it. So in just thinking through what's happening with the shoe and how the stitching is happening there, oops, I'm in the other shoe here. You got to sort of think about it. Think about why things are the way that they are. And then use that to help you make your decisions. Okay, so now I can go back and continue this guy here. So you can see I'm not even really using lazy mouse anymore. Nothing against it, but it seems to be okay. Now that I said that, I'm kind of messing it up here. So lazy mouse it is. Jinx myself. Let's try that one again. And this one actually goes, just curves around, so let's hit X and get rid of this. Let's cut this back here. Hit X and let's turn on lazy mouse, but I'm going to turn it way down. How does that look? Not quite. So this is where it helps to just do it on the model. Yeah, that's not looking very good, is it? I think that's too not close enough to the edge. That's probably better. So again, you'll notice that I'm not really concerned with perfection, because you'll waste so much time trying to get things perfect. And all you're really doing when you achieve that kind of perfection is making things look fake, I think anyway. All right? Those imperfections are what make it work, in my opinion. So, you know, do the best you can, but don't kill yourself trying to make it perfect, because once again, what are you using this for? Does it need to be that perfect? So that's kind of the way I look at it. Is if a character's going to be wearing this boot and they're going to be wearing pants that go over the top of the boot, well, then I'm probably not going to spend forever trying to get everything perfect. Just because I got so much other stuff to do that I don't want to waste a whole bunch of time fighting with this thing to get it just right. Other artists might see it differently. But for me, that's what it is, especially since I'm working on this. If you're working on a short film or something like that by yourself, you got so much time that you got to put into everything. So, don't kill yourself on one thing. All right, so here we go. Okay, so I'm loving this. I'm liking how that looks. I think that works very well. I'm going to save. And once that's done, let's go ahead and do a test render. Oh yeah, that's looking real nice. I like that. So again, the rear panel here and the toe cap here, I'm not going to put stitching on. I want those to look almost like hard plastic. So really hard leather. Designed to protect the toe of the boot and the heel of the boot. So they're a slightly different material, and they're not stitched into. I think that just breaks it up. Otherwise you tend to get where it's just very uniform and everything. So adding little bits like that to break up the design a little bit, I think is great. And it looks like my rear panel here is leather instead of cloth. So again, looks like something I missed in my masking process. I'm going to go ahead and adjust that. So that's in my leather. I'm going to select my mask here. I'm going to hit 4 to get into the polygon fill thing. I'm going to select UV chunk. Right now it's at 1 white. I'm going to hit X, which just set it to 0. And I'm going to remove this chunk. And as soon as I did, you see that it became cloth. So for some reason it got added in there. I probably when I did a drag selection, this one looks like it's fine. So I think we should be good. Or maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just really dark from that angle. But anyway, I think we're good now. All right, so that's pretty good. Now, before we move on to the tongue and stuff, and we may still come back in here and try to dirty up this leather a little bit more, but let's get some more stuff sort of blocked in here. Now, what I should have done was smoothed these rings because they're a little too angular, and I could do that, but I think I'm not going to worry about it too much. Let's look at the material that we want to use for the rings here. And I'm thinking some kind of brass or some kind of steel or something. So you got to figure out which UV panel that is, which UV set or texture set that is. Those are the laces. Those are those laces. Here we go. It's this one. It's 13. Okay, so there we go. So I'm going to hold down Alt and just rotate this and hold down Shift to have it snap. What's upside down? There we go. Okay. So we have our default layer. I'm just going to delete that. Don't need that. I'm going to come down here to Materials. And I think there is a brass in here somewhere. Or not. There it is. brass pure. Now, what you'll notice is that it's really, drag it there. So obviously that gets put on my tongue and whatnot. So again, we'll do the same thing we did before. I'm going to make a folder. I'm going to call this, we'll call that brass. So everything that's going to be that brass is going to go there. I'm going to put this brass pure inside of that folder. I'm going to select my folder, make a black mask, and then I'm going to hit 4. And what I can do with this selected UV chunk, I could just drag a selection. You see that as I select something, it becomes filled with that material. So just make sure you get all the pieces that you want. I don't know, should I keep those ones brass as well? Okay, so everything there is now brass. If we come out of that mode, now that's obviously just ridiculously shiny. So I'm going to come down here with my brass pure, and it's obviously metallic. And I'm going to increase my roughness. Let's polish that down a little bit so it's not so bright. And maybe just drop the value down on that yellow so it's not screaming like that. Maybe desaturate it as well. So it make it look almost tarnished. So it's not perfectly freshly polished brass. So, you know, that's not bad. Let's just roughen it up a little bit. We don't need any height information. Okay, so I think I can work with that. You know, may change it later, who knows. So what can we do? Right now it's very even. It's very even brass. Let's see if we can put some noise, some dirty it up over the top. So make a new fill layer. I don't know, we'll call this grunge. And we need a lowercase r. And I want to make this sort of a dark, sort of greasy black. I don't need it to be metallic. And I don't really need any height to it. And I want to increase my roughness so it's not that shiny. It's just, you know, kind of like schmutz, just dirt. So let's go to Smart Masks. And what do we want here? We just want an overall, let's try rust. And give it a sec. Okay, let's see if we were to drop the opacity of that. I actually kind of like what that's doing. If you look right here, we got it's sort of dirty. So at full power, it's there, which is kind of crazy. So we can just decrease it, and then we could also come in here and put a filter and just blur the edges. So if we select the blur, now you gotta be real careful. I'm gonna turn this intensity back up here just so I can see it better. And if I just start to blur this and then drop my opacity, that's maybe not so high. It is quite a bit high. Okay, so that way it just looks like just dirt. And then we could do the same thing we did before. We get the materials and we can get our rust coarse, put it above the grunge. So this is just like dust that is, or dirt that is settled in there. Let's see, do I want it to be metallic? I don't really think I do. I guess it doesn't really matter. And black mask and what was it? Generator dirt. Okay, so you can see how that dirt will just get into those crevices. And of course, with that selected, if it's too much, you can always tone it down. And let's turn it on and off just to see what it adds. So you can see it adds quite a bit of interest there. Just to break up the super evenness of that brass, just by giving it a little bit of dirt there. And I think for that it's good until I, take it to Arnold and do a render to see how I'm liking that. And I may have to come back in and do some adjustments. All right. So what are we at here? Okay, we've been at this for a little bit here. I think I'll cut the video here. Obviously, gotta go in and do the other side, the stitching. I'm not gonna do that again because you watched me do the whole thing here. So I'll just do this on my own, and then we'll come back. And you know what? We'll do some test rendering in Arnold real fast, and then come in and complete everything else. We still need to do the sole, and then also we need to do the tongue and the laces. All right, so we'll see you guys in the next video. Please comment, like, subscribe, and see you soon. All right, bye.